Big action this weekend at Prairie Meadows. 8 stakes races in the Iowa Festival of Racing. 4 of them on Friday, 4 of them on Saturday. So I'm going to take a quick dive into the Friday stakes races for Prairie Meadows right here. That will go as races 6, 7, 8, and 9 Friday evening. Race number 6 will go off about 8 o'clock Central Time, local time. So about 9 o'clock Eastern, 9:10 or so Eastern Time. So some night racing, some stakes action on Friday and Saturday night at Prairie Meadows this weekend. Don't forget about that big 4th of July sale at shop.drf.com. If you are someone who plays Saratoga starting next week, Del Mar starting in 2 weeks, you will need lots of past performances handicapping those meets. You'll need help with the clocker reports so you can make sure that in those maiden special weight races with the 2-year-olds or with younger horses or horses coming off a layoff, that you have all the best information. Shop.drf.com. Don't forget about the promo code there, July 424, save 15%. Let's take a look at the Daily Racing Form all access past performances and those 4 stakes races for Friday. We kick things off with the Iowa Sprint. In this race, a couple familiar names. The number 2, Necker Island. Been a little disappointing in the last few races, but this is a guy who's faced some tough company through the years, some very nice sprinters, and has been a horse who's gone longer also earlier on in his career. Was in the Derby. Confidence game, another horse who actually ran in the Derby. He's just been off form, though, ever since his Rebel win in 2023. I think Jackson Traveler fits really well in here. He is very quick. He just wasn't able to use that speed to his advantage in his last couple of races. First, on May the 18th, in that most recent race, it was on an off track, and he just does not like a wet track. I think you can put a line right through it, eliminate that race. He was also chasing a horse named Super Chow, who's been in really good form and is very, very fast. So he probably wasn't going to be able to get the lead that day anyways. Super Chow's won 3 of the last 4, all graded stakes races. Legit excuse for the Pimlico race. And then on April the 13th, he's facing Skelly, who's one of the faster horses in training right now. He's just never going to be able to get the lead in those races with Skelly, or close to the lead. 3rd place finisher that day, Happy as a Choice, came back to win next time out, earning a 95 Beyer speed figure in doing so. So I'm looking at those last 2 races and feeling like they're so much tougher, and those horses are so much faster than what Jackson Traveler will be dealing with in here, where I feel like he's the horse to catch. And it just doesn't seem like anyone is naturally as quick as he. So I think he's the one they'll all have to beat. Maybe the 1 showed speed last time out, draws the rail. Maybe they'll try to hold that position and force things. It would probably set up pretty well for the horses just to the outside. The 6 would be the one, the horse for course, that I would throw into your exotics if you're playing any type of multis here. Because Peace Dog does really like it at Prairie Meadows. Peace Dog came back into the Oscar Flores barn where he's had really good success. And he's looking for his 3rd win in a row. He's won 3 of his 4 at Prairie. And if Jackson Traveler gets beat in here, I'm thinking it's because he goes too quick and he probably ends up battling with a horse like the 1. Then it sets up nicely for the 6, Peace Dog. Bourbon Heist is another who fits really well. He lost to Close the Game Sugar, who is in excellent form right now. That guy beat Skelly. He's won 2 in a row, and he's won 3 of his last 4. And back-to-back 99 Beyer speed figures, winning stakes races at Churchill. I had 4, 6, 5, the way I stacked them in this race. That is the Iowa Sprint, race number 6 on Friday night. Race number 7 is the $100,000 Saylorville. I thought this race had a pretty good amount of speed in here, especially when you have a horse like the 1, Unsung Melody, who got stuck down inside. It shuffled badly, lost a couple lengths in that race on May the 27th at Churchill, and came on again. I thought she ran well, but she really wants to be more on the lead. And I think because she has the inside draw, you get a good speed rider like Santana back aboard. I feel like they're going to want to make sure they don't have to get stuck behind horses again. So she's going to be used pretty hard from the inside. Happy Am I is really quick. Really quick. She's not going to be too far out of it. Palace Inn might be the fastest horse in the field. She can absolutely fly. And then you've got Olga Isabella, who can absolutely fly as well. I have a really hard time not seeing them go quick in here with Olga, with Palace Inn, with Happy Am I, and with the draw of Unsung Melody. I really feel like this race sets up well for Faith Alone. She came flying last 2 starts back on May the 17th to win at 6 furlongs. She broke her maiden at 5 on the turf, so we know the shorter distances are no problem for her. And when 4 of the other runners in this field are all really quick, can we get at least 2 or 3 of them to hook up early? Because when she cuts back to a sprint, she's going to be dropping way out of it, and she'll come flying. She was second behind Olga Isabella last time out. She was second behind Palace Inn, and she's usually not going to beat those horses if there's a race where they're the only speed. But in this race, Palace Inn and Olga Isabella having to deal with each other, in addition to Happy Am I, in addition to Unsung Melody from the rail, I went 2-1 because I do think Unsung Melody can sit a little bit more than some of the others. I went 2-1, 6-3. That's really the key, right? Do any of these fillies try to make a different decision when it comes to tactics? Do you get the 4 or the 6 or one of these fillies or mares that say, you know what? Let's try to sit off a little bit. And then I need the 2, Faith Alone, the 1, Unsung Melody. Those are my top 2. Below them, I had the 6 and the 3, just depending on how they will choose to try to use their speed or sit off a little bit. Faith Alone can come flying. Let's get to race number 8. This one is the Prairie Gold Lassie, what I think is a really contentious race. You have these 2-year-old races when so many of these horses have 1 race, 2 races at max, a couple first-time starters, and I guess there's just 1 firster in here. So they can improve from one start to the next by leaps and bounds. I'll start with a 4, Swift Wind, because this filly showed us that she can encounter traffic, overcome that, and pass horses. Her debut, she's a little bit slow early, but look at how strong that race has come back. There have been 4 next out winners so far. Vodka with a twist came back to win the debutante at Churchill with a 76 buyer. 4th place finisher Slang came back to win a maiden special weight at Churchill with a 75 buyer. Anna Karina came back to win a maiden special at Churchill with a 66 buyer. And then Swift Wind came back to win that maiden $100,000 at Churchill. And so loaded debut race. June 22nd, she's in some early traffic. She holds her position. She's in between horses. She was always traveling well. She was just in a bad spot. It's kind of a tricky spot. And then at the top of the lane, things opened up for her, and she really was able to kind of stretch out her legs and run very well. I like her in here. Swift Wind, the number 4. I went to the 12 next, Dancing Magic. Was impressed with that effort at Hawthorne. Drew the rail that day. Now gets the extreme outside. Thought she was very quick. The 8's obvious, Baytown Butterfly. She beat Boys in the debut against Maiden Claimers. Then she stepped up and tried Stakes Company at Saratoga in her second start. Spanker Boom was a nice win at Churchill in the debut. I just have a tough time with horses like this who only show speed and in a race where I think there's going to be a lot of other speed, but she's definitely in the mix with them. What's wrong with the first-time starter, the 3, Rich City Girl, who really looks like she's got some early speed in the mornings, and they paid $435,000 for her for Larry Ravelli. The 6, Unspoken Truth, 8+ length winner here at Prairie Meadows. And the runner-up, My Kind of Trouble, comes back to win next time out. So it's already a live race. The Rail Horse, She's a Funky Drummer. Nothing wrong with that effort. I went 4-12 as my top 2 here. Got to take a stand somewhere, but very challenging 8th race on Friday night. Let's finish up Prairie Meadows Friday night analysis with race number 9. It's the Iowa Distaff. And in this race on paper, I thought it was a 3-horse race between Magical Loot, who is the deep runner. She's going to come closing. She's going to come from way out of it. You've got the 7, who's a little more of the speed. She's won 2 of her last 3, and she's basically been on the front end in those races. She'll go second start as a 4-year-old, second start back off the bench. She fits really well in here. And then you've got the 4, who's probably the most tactical, maybe the most versatile. She has speed. She can sit off a little bit. She ran into Shotgun Hottie on May the 17th. Shotgun Hottie came back and was second in the Fleur de Lis. Probably should have won that day on June 29th last weekend at Churchill. Just kind of had like an in-between ride. They didn't go that fast. She could have been a lot closer early. Musical Mischief was second in this race, came back to win an optional 80, non-winners of 2 with an 85 buyer speed figure next out. So she exits a strong race. And I don't think she really wants to be right on the lead. She can do it. She's best when she has a target to sit off. So she'll cut back a little bit here. Second start back off the short break. I like Lacey Be Good. I had a harder time finding any big prices in this race. I guess maybe you could make a case for a horse like the 2 trying to get forwardly placed in here, but I thought the 7 was faster. So there's a look at Friday night at Prairie Meadows. 4 stakes races on Friday night. We'll have some analysis of the 4 stakes races for Saturday night at Prairie Meadows on a big weekend for them. Stakes action Friday, stakes action Saturday. If you're looking for more analysis, free analysis, we have a lot for you right here on this YouTube channel. So if you subscribe, you'll get alerts every time we have videos. Make sure to do that. Like the video, please. Drop in a comment if you have any horses that you like, or if you ever have any questions. Love to interact with any of you out there. We also have previews for Thursday, July 4th at Belmont. Best bets for Thursday, July 4th at Woodbine. We have a video for Friday, Belmont Park, July 5th. And we'll have another one for Prairie Meadows also for Saturday. So a lot of free analysis for you. Good luck. Don't forget, at Daily Racing Form, 4th of July sale is currently underway all the way through Monday. Use the promo code July424 and save at shop.drf.com. Good luck.